Welcome to our 10th ESG webcast regarding the G in ESG. My colleague Katarzyna and I will guide you through this webcast. Before we dive into today's topic, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on new episodes of Let's Go ESG. As you have already learned from our previous webcasts, ESG stands for Environmental, Social and Governance, meaning topics relating to the environment, social issues and governance. Today we will focus on the G in ESG and give you an insight into the governance aspects of various ESG topics. The reason why companies are addressing ESG topics can generally be attributed to three drivers: regulatory issues, financing and funding, as well as business model and market positioning. This means that a company may be obliged to address ESG issues at a regulatory level. Moreover, there are ESG topics that companies are confronted with due to financing and funding. Finally, there are ESG issues that a company deals with in order to position itself in the market. We will have a closer look at each of these drivers from a governance perspective, starting with regulatory topics. The ESRS, European Sustainability Reporting Standards, are European standards for sustainability reporting addressing companies that fall under the scope of the CSRD, Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. As you can see, these standards are divided into cross-cutting standards, topical and sector-specific standards. In addition to 5 environmental and 4 social standards, the topical standards include 1 governance standard, ESRS G1 Business Conduct. On this slide, I would like to give you an overview of the various topic-related sustainability aspects of governance in accordance with the ESRS. The governance standard G1 Business Conduct deals with topics such as corporate culture, protection of whistleblowers, animal welfare, political engagement and lobbying activities, management of relationships with suppliers, and corruption and bribery. The ESRS topical standards include several disclosure requirements with different data points and KPIs. Within ESRS G1 Business Conduct, there are KPIs related to corruption and bribery that require information on the frequency of anti-corruption and anti-bribery training. For payment practices, the number of legal proceedings currently outstanding for late payments has to be indicated. In addition, the CSDDD and the minimum safeguards of the EU taxonomy regulation should be mentioned in the context of regulatory governance topics. At this point, I will hand over to my colleague Katarzyna to take a closer look at refinancing and market positioning.
Let's move on to the next chapter, governance aspects regarding financing and funding, ESG ratings. ESG ratings assess the ESG performance of companies. In addition to environmental and social issues, the rating score also includes governance topics. The weighting of the different topics can vary depending on the rating agency. Which governance topics are considered by individual rating agencies in the evaluation of the company also differs depending on the particular agency. Here, we have outlined some governance topics for you. For example, money laundering or sustainable procurement. Finally, I will briefly discuss the governance aspects regarding business model and market positioning. The most important aspects here are company culture and governance aligned with ESG risk management and data collection. This will be seen in companies' ESG policy and strategy and how they are linked together with risk management in the company. Focus on sustainability is not only important for the company's own operations, but for its upstream and downstream operations as well. As already mentioned, when we discuss the ESG ratings, it is important to focus, for example, on sustainable procurement practices in the whole value chain of a company. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. At its heart, there are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which are an urgent call for action by all countries developed and developing in a global partnership. Although first directed at member states, it was quickly adopted by businesses too. The goals are today an internationally recognized framework to which many companies and other business stakeholders are committed. As you can see, some governance issues are addressed here, such as Goal 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions, and Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals. Let's now take a deep look at Goal 16. Business can contribute to peace and justice by developing, implementing, and sharing solutions to take robust action against corruption and violence throughout their own operations and the supply chain. How can companies achieve this? An example of a business action related to SDG 16 would be identifying and taking robust action against corruption and violence in own operations and in the value chain by sustainable procurement, for example. Goal 17 is dedicated to partnerships between different stakeholders, including businesses and their different partners. Business action on SDG 17 states the lead on partnerships to develop and share new and existing technology, knowledge, and business models. In summary, good governance is a key factor for sustainable corporate success, and it is necessary to manage ESG risks properly. It not only promotes trust and offers long-term stability, but also ultimately leads to a competitive and sustainable company. This brings us to the end of our brief insight into the topic of the G in ESG. If you're interested in other ESG topics, check out our previously published webcasts, for example, the corporate carbon footprint or ESG issues for small and medium enterprises. And don't forget to like this video. We look forward to seeing you again at our next webcast. Thanks for watching.